Not a great weekend for Newcastle United. A gut-wrenching loss against Liverpool on Saturday, followed by alleged footage showing the Newcastle captain in an altercation in town. But we move on to Brighton this weekend, as well as the Champions League draw on Thursday and the end of the transfer window. And it's been reported over the last few days, Newcastle have been active, have agreed to let 2 players go. They've actually rejected a few bids should Newcastle be acting themselves to try and bring in a centre-back. We will talk about that in today's Tune Tuesdays. Yes, guys, how's it going? Welcome back to a new video. Welcome back to Tune Tuesdays, your weekly roundup of Newcastle United news. Now, loads of you guys watch Tune Tuesdays every week, but still have not hit that subscribe button. So if that's you, hit the big red button. We're getting closer and closer to 50,000 subscribers, which is crazy, to be honest. So if you could help me get there, that would be great. And it means you also get notified of every video, and it costs nothing. It's free. Just hit the button. If you don't like me in a few weeks' time, you can click it again and unsubscribe. So hit the button. But yes, just about bringing myself to do this video. To be honest, I cannot remember the last time walking out of St. James's Park and feeling so deflated after a football match. You can talk about Wembley, you know, but prior to that, it was tough. It was a game where, you know, Liverpool went down to 10 men, we're 1-0 up, we're flying, it's bank holiday, you know, everyone's enjoying themselves, and just as the game went on, it just fell away. And, you know, Eddie Howe said it in his press conference that Liverpool going from 11 men to 10 men was what actually hurt us even more, because of the fact that they kind of crunched up, they made their numbers matter a little bit more. But I think for me it was as much that we kind of stopped playing our game as well. We kind of stopped going for them almost. We kind of allowed them. I get it, they're at 10 men, and if you win 1-0 with 10 men, everybody's cheering at the end, and that's the way it is. But we had to try and get an extra goal, didn't we? And we made some changes in the game, you know, Gordon coming off, and without over-analysing something that I still don't want to talk about, it was a tough defeat. And we move on to what I think will be another tough game. It's Brighton away this weekend, 5:30 kickoff. I will be back for the full preview later this week, so I won't go into too much depth, but we all knew it was going to be a tough start of the season. I think the 5-1 win against Aston Villa was unexpected, you know. Man City was a tough game, you know, credit to Nunez with 2 fantastic shots to snatch away the win from us, you know. And now we've got a very long journey down to the south coast, take on a Brighton side who, let's be honest, are also a very good team. I think does it help us that they lost against West Ham at the weekend? Is that the kick up the backside that they are now getting going into this game? I don't know, but it'll be tough. We need to really try and pull ourselves together, go again, and hopefully make it count. And as I say, over the weekend, if you're not lying around hungover feeling sorry for yourself already, to then see alleged footage being released of Jamal The Cell in an altercation in town wasn't the greatest thing to see either, was it? And I'll keep using the word alleged as well. The Daily Mail are reporting it, as well as a few other outlets, so I think it does look, or I believe it looks like it is Jamal The Cell who is involved. Some people saying it was after the Liverpool game. In fairness, it's actually been said that it was after the Man City game, so it was like over a week ago. So it's strange that just nothing's come out, and then all of a sudden we lose against Liverpool. Oh, hang on, this will be, maybe that's me being sceptical. This is a good chance to get lots of videos from this one. let's release it now. Why wait so long in between? First of all, people are just assuming it's Jamal The Cell's fighting with Liverpool fans. Nobody really knows, but what's being reported or allegedly being said is that it was in fact, as I said last week, and that him and his brother had been targeted. And if you actually do watch the video, The Cell looks like he is actually just trying to get people off what appears to be his brother, and he actually, if it is him, allegedly, he eats a punch to the side of the head and just totally brushes it off as well. So big up The Cell for that one. So there's 2 ways to look at it. You look at it the way of, what the hell is our captain doing out in the middle of the town having a slobber knocker with a bunch of people? Or you can look at it and say he was standing in and trying to break up a fight and sort things out. And either way, if that was the case and he was trying to help a friend or whatever, then you know, big up to Lascelles. Would you rather he stood and watched his mate get kicked on the ground or whatever? So, yeah, it isn't a great look to have the club just come out the back of a loss and then all of a sudden we're in the newspapers again because the captain's allegedly having scraps in town. But as I say, what would you rather do? Him just stood and watched it, or would you rather he went over there and you know, helped out his mates? So he actually got a bit of a mix. I would say a bit of a mixed response. I think initially this response wasn't great, but I would actually say as time's gone on, I think Newcastle fans are actually defending somebody for trying to stick up for the pals, you know. So yeah, that was the weekend. I mean, in fairness, the one thing that did come from the weekend from me was that I met the legend Tino Asprilla on the big market for a few beers. So that was actually incredible, to be fair. You get lucky sometimes around the ground, bumping into players. Like, that's the first time I've ever met Tino. I think it's possibly the only time I ever met him. He's not over from Colombia very often. He was invited for the Liverpool game, and I was one of the lucky few to say hello, get a photo. It was quality. And I did actually record some extra content with Tino Asprilla that I've put over on my Patreon as well. So if you're interested in helping support the channel that little bit further, it's £5 a month. We've built up a great community as well. We're up to 7 patrons now. So thank you to everyone who has joined recently, building up that little community over there. It's great chatting, videos, extra behind the scenes, extra content. If you want to see a bit of me and Tino at the weekend, be sure to help support the channel and go and check it out. But as I say, we move away from last weekend. We move on to this week, and there's loads going on this week. We're all talking about the Champions League. Well, in fact, there's another draw before the Champions League, and that's on Wednesday night. The Carabao Cup draw is, in fact, on Wednesday night, so that's what to look out for. The Carabao Cup games are being played, I think, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then they'll do the draw on the Wednesday night. Obviously, that was a tournament we made it through to the final in last time, so hoping for a good draw in that one. Would it be great to see us have, well, obviously we want to, you know, have a great Premier League season, we want to have a great Champions League season, I want to have a great domestic cup season as well. I'd love another trip to Wembley. I thought that was amazing as well. As I say, that was the last time I felt so disheartened walking out of a stadium. But yeah, it's all experience. We're learning, and the more we get to Wembley, the more we're learning. You're not going to win a cup unless you get there, are you? So yes, hopefully it's a good draw. We're waiting to see what happens there. But the big one is Thursday night. Thursday night is the Champions League draw. That's when Newcastle will find out who their group will be. Today's question of the video, let me know down in the comments below, who do you want your Champions League group to be? I will put the pots on screen for you guys to look at. Bit of a 50-50 reaction for people who just want the big boys. The big boys want Barca here, want to be in the San Siro, want all the good ones. And then the other side of it is, you know, who can we try and beat or have the best chance of beating to get through to the later stages? You can look at it both ways. If you want to win, you've got to beat everyone. So you could look at it that way, you know, we've got to play all the big teams. You could look at it in a way that, how far are we going to get? And if we aren't going to get that far, would you rather we just play all the big teams now, really put ourselves to the test, big games at St James's, big 3 away days, and then still with a chance of going through? Or would you go, you know what, give us a couple of good ones, let's try and make it through this round and really try and push it? Because I'm a bit down the middle. I think I want to see some big games, but I want to see us go through as well. So I'm not going to sit there and go, oh no, we didn't get the 3 biggest teams we could have played against. I mean, if we've got Rangers, for example, it's like an hour's trip over the road. We only played them 5 minutes ago. So that's a bit like, it's not that's that exciting, but I possibly fancy our chances to get 2 wins against Rangers in the Champions League. No offence to any Rangers fans. I'm sure that'd be a good game, but you know what I mean though. So you can kind of look at it both ways. So yes, Carabao Cup draw Wednesday, Champions League draw Thursday, and if that day wasn't going to be busy enough with Champions League, it's also transfer deadline day. And it's fair to say we have had a cracking transfer window. The likes of Tonali, Barnes, you know, Hall coming in. I think it's calls to give Hall some action pretty soon. I'm looking forward to seeing Liverpool. I thought Tonali held himself head held pretty high against Liverpool. Of the players that were on the pitch, I was quite enjoying a lot of Tonali, especially first half. It's now being said, and that's the thing coming off that game as well. Man City Shaw got a head injury, went down. Thankfully got back up, he was okay. Botman went down. It's being reported that Botman's injury isn't as serious as first expected and that he should be okay. But we've spent all window talking about buy a centre-back. within 2 games back-to-back, we've got 2 centre-backs going down injured. Centre-back in would be good. The reports are over the weekend that Newcastle have been pretty active. We saw Fraser head off to Southampton on loan, which I think is a good one. I think we'll probably get like 50% of his wages, and he's on a pretty decent wage as well after he joined on a freebie. So I think that's a good move. Isaac Hayden is off to Luton, which I think is another good one. I think it's a great chance for him to try and get some. He's not going to be in the squad, so it's a great chance to get him away. Again, bring some of the wages back. But then it's also being reported that Fulham put a bid in for Matty Targett that we rejected. I think I can understand. And then also reports Jamal The Cell has interest from Besiktas, of all places, amongst other teams. So with this late in the window, we talk about FFP not having money, Lewis Hall going out on a loan, having to bring him in on loan, with an obligation to buy because we didn't have the money. Meanwhile, we've actually managed to let Fraser and Hayden on the way out. And then we've also got turning down possible bids for Matty Targett. It depends what you think the left-back situation is. Do you think the left-back situation is Dan Burn left-back, Hall backup, Targett third backup, Manquillo fourth backup, who's also linked away? So I don't know, is that worth considering? And then you've got Jamal The Cell, who isn't really... Is there an option there to try and receive a fee and do some really late business? I think knowing Eddie Howe, I think he will side on the edge of caution and worry that if a deal doesn't go through correctly or quick enough, and we haven't got the player literally stepping off the... Well, he'd be struggling to step off the plane, wouldn't he, actually, because of all of the issues with UKS. People have to get them on a speedboat from wherever they're coming from, unless it's a player in this country. I suppose you could talk about the Crystal Palace player, who we're heavily linked with as well, Anderson. But generally speaking... I don't know. It seems like, obviously, you don't know behind the scenes. It feels like in the media it's been dismissed quite quickly of the fact that, that's not happening. Nah, we've said no. And is that because Newcastle have just gone, shut up shop, let it be? I don't know. Maybe I'm more of a gambling man than Eddie Howe, but I would be taking these bids quite seriously and wondering, is there some late moves that we could do? That the worry is, though, is that you don't know what's going to happen, and you don't know what the future holds. And then if Dan Burn did get an injury, or Hall got an injury, and we're going, oh, hang on, we don't have a left-back anymore. Actually, we could have probably done with Matty Targett after all. So you can understand that, but I do just feel like with Dummett's left-footed as well, Richie's left-footed as well, and yes, they aren't better than Targett, but there's a lot over there. Do you think we should be taking some of these bids more seriously? Do you think Newcastle should be moving heavier in this last 48 hours to try and make a centre-back move happen? Or do you think we are right to just reject those bids and go, look, come on now, Rob. There isn't long left. We've got what we've got, and we'll make it work this season. You let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you guys for watching Toon Tuesdays. As always, give me your Champions League pot hopes or predictions down in the comments below. And yeah, we move on to a very big week with a lot going on. So subscribe to not miss any future videos. Thanks for watching Toon Tuesdays, guys. Enjoy your night. Enjoy the rest of your week. Brighten it the weekend. Bring it on. Catch you guys later.